It's still
If I
speeding.
get to moving, because I do when I talk, just go tell me about the show.
Sound speed.
Just stop
Perfect.
it.
Okay. We're clear, and I think we're ready.
Okay, stand by. Mark it, please.
After Eden docuseries, Katie, take one.
Okay, everyone clear and settled and comfy, and both cameras are rolling. And 244 and 244. Nice. Okay, when you're ready, let's go.
Okay. All right, Katie, go ahead and tell us your name, last name, and what you do in fighting trafficking.
I'm Katie Walker, actress for the feature film 8 Days. Oh, and what do I do? Okay, hold on. I'm Katie Walker, actress from the feature film 8 Days, and we go to the nations, bringing awareness and education to the crime of sex trafficking.
Okay, come on.
Okay. T-shirt was hanging out.
Thanks.
Big white.
We're gonna do it again.
Thanks.
James, all right?
Okay.
Keep rolling. Action.
I'm Katie Walker, actress from the feature film 8 Days.
Katie, how did you get involved in fighting sex trafficking?
I am an actress, and I was cast in the film 8 Days. And it was a nonprofit film to go into Texas high schools to fight sex trafficking. I was just at the stage of acting where I had just told my husband I'm not going to do any more work with no pay. Like, I have a resume now, and I'm going to be a professional actress. And the film came across one of our casting directors that I followed for this feature film on sex trafficking. And my knowledge on sex trafficking to this point was the film Taken. That is the information I had on sex trafficking. I thought it was in a different country. And I thought, well, if this is happening here, I would love to be a part of it. And so I auditioned for this film and booked the role playing the mother of a daughter that gets trafficked for 8 days.
Can you talk to us a little bit about the audition experience? Because you were originally not going to interview or audition for that role.
Well, as I stated, I had made the decision that I was going to not take any more roles for no profit. And this film was a nonprofit. It was a no pay role. And so I had discussed with my husband, this is for a great cause. I'm going to audition for a day player. And a day player is a role that is 5 lines or less. I said I would drive over to Dallas for one day where they were filming this if I were to book the role, and just give my time to something that I thought was worthwhile. And at 3:30 in the morning on the audition night that I was supposed to be in Dallas, I woke up to an audible voice from God. It's the only time I'd ever heard it, and since. But I sat straight up out of the bed, and it was such a loud, deep, booming voice. I thought it was my husband, and I looked, and he was asleep. And the only words I heard was audition for the mom. And I remember thinking, sitting straight up, God, is that you? Or did I just wake up out of a dream? And then you have 1,000 questions. What audition? What mom? What mom? As an actress, you're constantly sending your resume to different breakdowns, and I'm at the age where I play a lot of mom roles. So which mom? And so I went and looked at the 8 Days casting, and they were calling for, the breakdown was for a blonde, mid-40s, petite woman. And I did not fit that breakdown. But it was the only role that had a mother in it. And so I thought, okay, great. If this is it, I'll do that. And now I didn't have the audition material. So I thought I would, have a conversation with God, like, okay, if this is not a dream and this is from you, how am I going to get the audition sides? And I said, well, I'll send an email to the casting director, which is usually taboo. You don't know them. And if I have the sides, I'll go do it. And so I sent an email at 3:30 in the morning to the casting director and said, I'm Katie Walker. I'm coming in to play a day player, but I would like to audition for the mother. And that's just not how it works. So I kind of laughed at my email, but I sent it anyway. And at 7 a.m. when I woke up, the audition material for the mother was in my email. And so I drove to Dallas, memorized lines, and auditioned and booked the role.
Thank you. Okay, Katie, what's been one of your tougher challenges in the process of fighting trafficking through 8 days, but also after? Just highlight some of the things that are really tough fighting this fight.
The toughest for me was, I think, looking at the pain of survivors or victims after showing the film. I had two really big experiences through this fight. One was after filming. As an actor, you dive into this role, you go to the places as the mother losing a daughter for 8 days to trafficking where you just don't know where they are, what's happening. You know there's abuse, or you can imagine the pain. And for 4 months after that film, I would see kids at a bus stop and cry. Or I would drop my kids off at school and cry for kids. Or I could not control the emotions when I was by myself. I was actually at a point where I thought I might need to see counseling because I can't check out. I can't check out of this role. And I remember thinking, what do I do now? What do I do now? And that question was, I'm going to start talking about it. I'm going to use this role to bring awareness and education, and I'm going to talk to kids, and I'm going to talk to the soccer moms that I do soccer with, and I'm going to talk to the neighborhood, and it's not going to happen on my street, and it can't happen in my city, and it can't happen in my schools. So that pain was turned into a passion to bring awareness because I didn't want to look at another child in the eyes that had seen this pain.
Have you noticed any changes, because you've been very actively involved for the last 5 years, have you noticed any changes in the fight at all? I mean, legal changes, awareness?
I definitely think there's more awareness. When we filmed in 2013, when I said I'm doing a film on sex trafficking, you would get the question, does that happen here? I've heard of it through Taken, or I've heard of it in different cities. So I know the awareness is out there. I don't know. I find that because the awareness is out there, there's more issues. There's more problems. There's more people that need help. There's more need for, let's get to the root of the issue. Let's educate our teenagers. Let's put worth into them. From this film, the scriptwriter, Philippa Boyens from 8 Days, and I wrote a woman's devotional talking to the woman about their identity because we wanted to get to the root of the manipulation and coercion that so easily entangles a teen or a woman. And so you asked about the awareness. This is just another way to fight. We want to keep fighting, continue fighting. I think I went off on the question, but
All good.
okay.
Sex work as a term, how's that hit you? What does that mean?
that hits me with brokenness. If you want me to be really honest, it hits me with a broken heart that feels hopeless and has to do something to survive. And it hits me in a way that says we need to wake up as a community to help those, to be the hands and the feet for somebody that is struggling. When we see poverty or a woman that says, I've got to do this to make rent, or I've got to do this to survive, we need to be the people that are aware, not just within ourselves, but reaching out, neighbors. So the word sex work to me says pain.
In your opinion, and what you've experienced, because you've now seen a lot of organizations, how would you describe what victims who become survivors, what they've experienced in your encountering them?
Wait, will you repeat that?
According to you, what is the experience, the takeaway you get from victims? What do you think they experience? How would you define what they go through?
I think victims go through like a living death. That's what I feel like they would go through. I feel like I had a friend that I mentored that was trafficked by her family. And we talked about how did this happen? You know, what happened at the very beginning? She said, I spent the night at a friend's house, my best friend at school. I slept with her brother that night. My friend went to school my sophomore year of high school and told everyone. I couldn't take the reputation. My family were kind of wealthy and well-known, and I dropped out of school 3 days later. And I found people that supported me and didn't drag my name through the mud. And the way to survive, because I ran, was to be an escort. And then from that service, that it kept going from there. And I said, so you're telling me that if one person in high school had looked at you and said, hey, I heard this rumor, I heard what happened, but I want you to know that's not who you are, that you're worthy, that yeah, that might have been a big mistake or a bad behavior or whatever you want to call it, but you are somebody that can do something different. And this doesn't define you, and it's not who you are. And she said, with big tears in her eyes, it would have made all the difference. If I could go back, if there would have been one that would have said that to me, I think my life would have been different. And that's the call for all of us. We have to go after the one. I have to go after the one child that's at my house for a play date with my other children, and I see her personality change. I've got to be the one to step up and say, hey, how's it going? What's going on? We have to be people that are aware and alert to go after the one that we see.
Katie, prostitution, decriminalizing prostitution. In your opinion, what would that do to minor sex trafficking? Over 18, decriminalizing prostitution, what would that do to minor sex trafficking?
I think it would further bring, I think decriminalization of prostitution would further bring chaos and to minors about who they are. And it would bring somewhat of a desensitization to using your body, using your worth to serve other people in whatever fantasies they want.
On 8 days during the filming, there was an event at a motel. where Homeland Security was present in the movie, and there was something else happened during filming. Briefly, do you recall something like that? And
Yes.
maybe tell us a little bit about what happened.
We were on set and we were filming the scene where HSI had tracked my daughter and were going to break down the door and go in and rescue her. And we had the very real HSI on set. And they lined up at the door and they were ready. The director called action, and all of a sudden, the HSI and FBI huddled up. And he was like, and they moved 2 doors down and they lined up. And the director's like, no. And all of a sudden, they had gotten a call for a sex trafficking rescue 2 doors down from where we're filming about sex trafficking. And they made a rescue that night on that film set, 2 doors down from the fake film set.
Stand by, we're just gonna fix one hair. Thank you.
That hair?
No, it's a major jump.
Oh.
We had a big jump up.
Sorry.
There we go.
Okay, all good, all good. Katie, what can people do, normal people, not politicians or Homeland Security, just normal moms, what can people do? How can they help?
Normal moms. Normal moms can help because you are the ones training up around children every day. I'm a normal mom. I'm a mom of 4. I show them as a tool the film 8 Days. And I'm not trying to promote, actually, but I use it as a tool to open dialogue, to show education and awareness through a film, because kids need to see. It's great to have the facts and the stats, but if you watch a life and follow Amber's story for 8 days getting trafficked, then they'll be the ones that are aware. Because I don't want to send my kids off to college without them being aware of what's going on, the dangers. You know, I always use this one, and when I tell moms, because sex trafficking, they're all pornography. They're hard to talk about to teenagers. It's a hard conversation. Everybody, especially if you're a teenager, rolls your eyes when mom says, hey, we're going to have this talk. And so this film is an easy tool to use. This docuseries is an easy tool to use to talk about it. But as a mom, I teach my kids, hey, when you're going to cross the street, look both ways so you don't get run over. And it's the same thing. We have got to be the ones that are teaching our kids, hey, look both ways.
Keep going, Katie, sorry. Talk to me about some personal experiences that you have encountered where you know of certain children that are under pressure or in duress or potential victims, or just as a mom, things you hear and see that tells you that that child could be a potential victim by how they behave online.
I think the lack of I think comparison of social media when you're watching different kids and they think they have to be a certain way and they may not fit in, they may be a little different, is a huge red flag when their security in themselves is fragile, especially around the middle school age. We showed the film 8 Days, and I had a 15-year-old in the middle of the film walk up. I play the mom, so I'm the mom, I'm the mother figure, and she's weeping, and she says, I didn't know that this was sex trafficking. I didn't know. I've been trafficked my whole life. I had no idea. And with tears in her eyes, she says, I didn't know I've had so many men that I often want to kill myself because my mom taught me that when you don't have anything, baby girl, you have this. And she pointed to her, that was real life. That was a real communication in my city.
We talk about dads, particularly, Katie, and then men. Just maybe a message or a word or thought you have for dads and men, because predominantly the buyers are men. There are some, but it's 99% men that buy.
I would just say, be there, see your daughter, like see her, your son, be there, be there. Be the guy that defends your child. Be the guy that is there. I don't know, that's such a great question. Let me think about this for a second. What would I want to say something else.
Don't filter.
Well, this is what I would say to the father, and I love fathers, so don't take this the wrong way, but where are you? That's what I would say. Where are the dads? Where are the dads? I don't know, because I see dads leaving their families all the time. Where's the man that says, no, I'm going to be a man and I'm going to fight for every child? That's what I would say, because I know you're there. And if you're there, where's your voice? We need you to be louder.
Pornography. Is it a problem in youth? You've got teenagers. Is it real? Is it really what people say? I mean, is it, or is it inflated?
Pornography is everywhere. It is on every. Let me put it this way. I have found it on every device that I own because it either pops up when my daughter's looking for a funny mask and Google drops a mask and you could just Google a furry mask. She's looking for a Halloween costume and more than what you want shows up. It is so easy to access for any child. And that's the hardest part is monitoring all of our devices. Everyone's on the go. I have no idea what they're looking at in the car until I can get back there. And that's a hard thing to monitor. And that's how bad pornography is that it gets into innocent children easy. And when you try to click out of it, because this has happened, where my daughter said, Mom, and handed it to me, and I tried to click out of it, more videos pop up, pop up, pop up, pop up. It's like a war to hide and protect your eyes. It's a war.
Your opinion, what should be done? Because we have, as we know, the First Amendment, we have anti-censorship rights to organizations like Facebook, particularly. Backpage.com was shut down in Dallas. Pinterest, Twitter. What is your opinion about these organizations? Do you have a specific opinion? Before you answer, we're just going to grab a hair in the back. Just grab your hair and throw it back. Okay, thank you. An opinion about these organizations and what you feel their responsibility is towards minors. Yeah, okay.
Go ahead.
Stand by.
Oh,
Yeah,
thank you. The lights are on.
why? That's literally the colors.